Welcome back to another episode of Bits and Boards. I'm your host, Jacob Gonzalez.
I'm Christian Hicks.
Today we have a very special guest. Today we are joined by our man, William Hodges. Now, William is a owner of Bill's Card Shack. He has been in the card trading business for a while now. He's gone through a lot of tribe and tribulations, going from Troy and then going to Mechanicville after an event had occurred, which we will talk about today more in depth. But today we are welcome to have William.
Thank you guys for having me on today. Just basically explaining the story about how we lost everything in less than 5 minutes and we got everything back. So
we'll definitely get into that, but I'm more curious about your upbringing into the card selling business. So how did you get into it? It seemed like you and your dad have been really close into, working on the Card Shack. So kind of just talk to me how you got into it.
So basically 30 years ago, my dad felt like it was, a time to basically open up a card shop right out of the Army. And I was always there at the card shows underneath the table throwing boxes and kind of destroying stuff. And then just one thing led to another. And basically my heart was in it ever since. So and you can always talk to people about sports or Pokemon or anything. And everybody likes the same thing. So it's pretty cool.
No, definitely, for sure. Have you always loved sports growing up? Has that always been a passion for you?
Yes. I did play in high school and travel ball, but when I stopped loving it, I stopped playing sports, so I just more got into the sports card world.
Yeah.
So how is the card community? Have you built friends and close colleagues based off of this business?
You meet people every single day, and you meet new faces, and even kids. You can talk to kids about anything. Newer sports and everything. ESPN has really changed the game a little bit because kids know who's hot and who's not. And then when people do something bad, their cards kind of plummet. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
So kind of going off of your history. So did you guys start in Troy? How did that first kind of come up for you guys?
Well, we started in Waterford originally.
Okay.
And then basically we had 3 stores at one time. We had one in Latham Circle Mall. We had one in Waterford, and then one in Central Ave. And then basically the card market kind of took a little bit of a dip, the junk wax era. So it's kind of went down, but then basically my father and I thought it was smart to just focus on one store versus 3 stores. Just too much to manage. Then you have to hire people, keep inventory. It's just wasn't the smart idea, but at the time it was. So then we went back to Waterford, and we're there ever since.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about inventory. I mean, that's got to be a long time to collecting all these cards. I mean, you got all these different sports, and now you got, like you said, you have Pokemon. There's all these different types of trading cards, not even just with sports. So how long did it take you to build up that repertoire?
Honestly, it started with a small store in Waterford, and, it got bigger and bigger, and in the early 2000s, it took the dip and it came back. Now Pokemon is huge. There's 70-year-old guys that come into the store opening Pokemon cards. Sometimes they don't even know much about it, but they're ripping it. So they want to rip and they want to get that card. Sometimes they want to grade it, etc. So it's definitely changed over the years.
For sure.
So adding on to that as well, how has the customer demographic changed throughout these different trends in the sports card industry?
Basically, it's hard to tell what's going to be hot in 3 months or 6 months. A year ago, Pokemon wasn't really hot. Now all of a sudden it's one of the hottest things on the market. But influencers, YouTubers like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, everybody is pushing to go buy this or go buy that. Honestly, it's been fun. It's been a fun 30 years. So
have you guys used the media to your advantage at all for your company? Yes
and no. My dad doesn't really like the whole Facebook aspect, but now he does. He's kind of been just old school. But I told him that's what it is. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There's this as a card guy. There's Whatnot and TikTok, and so it's definitely changed where you can get your cards.
Oh yeah.
There's thousands of card shows now, so there wasn't like that, years ago,
Yeah.
20 years ago, 30 years ago. But there's a lot of people into cards.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't matter how old you are, anybody can get into it.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you even talked about it. I mean, I feel like in like the 2000s and 2010s, I mean, card selling, card trading was pretty low key. It was very unique, niche type of aspect to the whole entire thing. But now, in the 2020s, I feel like after COVID happened, a lot of these new people are getting into the card industry. You got the craze with Pokemon, you got all these sports cards with these one of ones and all that type of stuff. Have you seen an increase of those type of people that are strictly just there to, get the most expensive card or get the most sought after thing, or is it kind of still those people are still passionate about?
It's kind of split. You know what I mean? There is still some people that come in with their binders or want to collect, Aaron Judge or Mike Trout. But there is some people that are just trying to gamble and get the card so they can sell it. It's kind of like a scratch-off ticket. So it comes and goes. It's one of those things where, like you said, in early 2000s, it really wasn't. It was kind of like going down market. They made so much product. They made like 5 billion Pokemon cards just this year. So. And there's a lot of people that want to grade stuff, get PSA, SGC, Beckett, etc. So it's definitely see it go up and down.
So for the people who are just chasing the most expensive card, do you feel like kind of that ruins the hobby for those who just like to collect? And
yes and no. There's some people jump in it and jump out. I call it that. There's some people that you see 1 month and then you don't see them for another year or 2 years or 3 years. So it depends on what you have to know where you're at. You're either in it to make money or you're in it to collect.
yeah,
If you're in it to make money and collect, well, that's where it gets dicey a little bit because then nothing in your collection is safe. You're going to sell it.
Yeah.
So years ago, I was always telling people you have to know where you're at. You're either in it to collect or in it to make money. Seeing both people is, it's good for our business either way. It's just, years ago, 20 years ago, people were all coming in with their binders, looking for anybody, Derek Jeter or Alex Rodriguez. But the steroid era kind of like ruined all that.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, most definitely. We talked a lot about today's aspect of card trading and all that, but I kind of want to bring it back to what we alluded to in the intro. So a few months back, you guys had unfortunate fire at your old store in Waterford. Talk to me about the recovery process. How did you manage to build your business back up to where it was? Because I'm sure you lost a lot of crazy valuable cards and all these different things that are, they're kind of irreplaceable. So just talk to me about that a little bit.
So basically, after the fire, it was kind of, we sat down as a family thinking what we were going to do. Either we were just going to just be done or keep going. And the problem is, like you said, it was so hard to get back our old inventory. Pokemon packs used to be $5, now they're $10, $15. Evolving Skies are now $30. So everything doubled, quadrupled. So if it wasn't for like the community of Mechanicville or Waterford, we probably wouldn't have opened back up. Because so many people came and rallied around and wanted to donate or just sell to us and just get us back up and running. It wasn't easy. I can tell you that. So
I'm sure.
In April, we were in Mechanicville and we looked at a spot and we saw that Joe Mickles was actually retiring. So we basically signed a 2-year lease with the guy that owned the building. His dad sadly passed away. So Fortune basically gave us that opportunity. So once again, it wasn't easy. Losing everything in 5 minutes, water damage, smoke damage. It was like the Jumanji movie. That's how much water was in there. There was a lot of fire departments. If people remember that, it was like a movie. Everybody was, yelling and barking orders. It was tough. So
Most definitely.
How did it feel to have a whole community come behind you guys though and help you rally and fix your shop back up?
It was great. You know what I mean? we did open up in June 1st in Mechanicville. We had probably 70 to 100 people waiting outside.
Yeah.
And it was so tough in a new town that we didn't know that if they were going to support us or not. We didn't know. All that we knew was Waterford.
Yeah.
So, but it was so cool to see the community and kids, they were all excited. There hasn't been a card shop at Mechanicville in, I think, 25 years. I think 1994 was the last time that a shop was in Mechanicville.
Wow.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
it's everybody was excited, and there's a school that's only like 2 doors down.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're really excited, especially for Christmas time, that they know they can come buy presents and stuff. So
No, most definitely. I mean, I'm from Mechanicville myself, so, seeing you, because I used to get my haircut at the building that you're in right now, so kind of seeing that transform into a card shop now, it's kind of surreal for me, so it's definitely very cool. Real quick, we're going to go right into break. We're going to go talk about the new store and how that's been occurring, and we're going to talk a little bit of cards, so stay tuned for more. Guys, welcome back to Bits and Boards. We were just talking about the new store in Mechanicville. Now, you were talking about how it's, kind of new, untapped territory for you. How have you seen a difference between the business you were getting in Waterford compared to Mechanicville? I mean, I know you've only been open there for a couple months, but have you seen any type of difference in that?
So yes and no. We have parking now, which is a huge thing. We have a huge parking lot.
Yep.
Can probably fit 10, 20 cars. Before, we never really had that parking. It was just on-street parking on Broad Street in Waterford. So sometimes people would go and they wouldn't stop by. So now they have that opportunity to park at Sunoco or across the street at McDonald's and then just walk right over. So it's been huge for that aspect. But it's tough. We've only been open a couple months, so it's hard to say, all that to know all the answers. But it's definitely good having that parking. That really helps.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Has your customer base from the old store come and do you have a majority of your customers still come into the new store?
Yes, yeah. So we did lose some just because some of our customers don't have vehicles.
Yeah.
So it's hard for the transportation in Mechanicville because there is no bus line.
Yeah.
There's CDTA Flex, so you have to go on the app and get that ride. So I think if Mechanicville had a bus route, we would see some more customers. I think it's a great idea because they've never had one. So, and it would help people go from point A to point B. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I'm just surprised that there hasn't been that many, more traffic in there, I mean, again, it's a new store, like you said, there hasn't really been anything like that in Mechanicville for a long time. I mean, I've been living there probably since about 2005, 2006, and, we've had stores come and go, we've had our different sports stores and different antique stores and stuff like that, but nothing's really ever stuck. So do you think that, being in Mechanicville, do you think, a store like you would, be able to, stay around for a while?
I definitely think so. We're signed on for another 2 more years. So we're going to see how that goes. So far, it's going really well. The community has really backed us. The kids love it, I can tell you that. And people are really excited, just to see a new business in Mechanicville because usually, like you said, everybody's trying to go out because they can't survive.
Right.
But I feel like that the community from Waterford, I think the community from Mechanicville, I think, the cities around, I think we're going to survive. I think we have that following for 30 years. So it's not like we just started out.
Right.
30 years going. Pretty sure it's the oldest sports card shop in the Capital Region. I'm pretty sure, so we definitely have the following around. So.
For sure. So I know you brought some cool cards in. I know Christian over here, he has his own binder of stuff. So I wanted to give you guys the time to kind of chop up about cards and stuff like that. So what have you brought in to share with us today from your collection?
So actually, believe it or not, something that just came in today, It's actually a pretty cool piece because it's my last name is Hodges. So this is Gil Hodges, which is at 1954.
Wow.
So
Oh my
this
God.
is like retro.
Is that signed too?
No, it's just that's just how they made the card though.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the book value on it is like $250, but we're only selling it for $150.
Wow. Okay.
So but it's still in good condition for being so old. You know,
Wow.
so it's one of those things where, and it's my last name. So believe it or not, I'm actually related to Gil Hodges.
Really?
But it's way down the tree.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
You know, that it's way.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that goes deep. That would go deep into the family tree.
It goes deep. But
Yeah.
honestly, you know, because I was born in '97, I don't. You know, I've obviously never seen him play.
Right.
So, but it's just cool just to know that I am related to him. And then also is James Wood. It's an autograph
That's crazy.
out of 150.
That's
So
cool.
it's-
Is that a rookie card?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
So,
set is that? Top screen?
So it's Topps Superfractor.
Superfractor.
Yep. So that just came in, believe it or not, today. And then C.J. Stroud, which is a graded 9.
Ooh.
So.
Oh my God, that is
Rookie?
sick.
Yep.
Oh, college.
Yeah, college out of 99. So
Wow.
it's 2021.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this stuff comes in all the time. You know, people want to trade or sell. Honestly, a lot of people, how we get our stuff is it stinks to say, but sometimes people pass away. So, you know, family members get stuck with it, so they want to sell it.
Right.
And it's just crazy that somebody had this card from 1954 and it's still in great condition.
Yeah.
You know, so people, that's how you tell a true collector versus somebody that just wants to resell it.
Yeah.
They took good care out of it, so
No, for sure.
pretty cool.
So could you just real quick explain to some of the audience members who may not know just about the PSA grading system as well?
Yep.
So you can grade a card and try to get a 10, but most of the times you'll get a 9 or 8 or 7. And so it's one of those things, but you have to shell out like $25-$30
Yeah.
for PSA to put it in, you know, this slab. And honestly, in our market, we really don't see that it's worth sending in everything. We only send in stuff that's like 500 or more,
Wow, okay.
like raw.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because we buy so many cards like this on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So that's
This
that's just normal to you to get those type of crazy cards. So
Yep.
that's insane to me. You
Yeah,
know?
it's just the one thing is, I feel like a lot of people are huge into, hey, let's grade this card, let's
Yep.
grade this card, let's grade them all. But you're spending all that money, and you still have to get it back. If you're in it to collect it, sure, go grade everything.
Yeah.
But in our aspect, we just buy them graded.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the way to go if you're into collecting. Just buy a card that's already graded because you didn't have to do anything for that grade. You know, you know what it is.
Well, I feel like that's the difference between, you know, the people that are in it just for collecting and the people that are in it for just the money. I mean, they're chasing after that PSA 9, that PSA 10 on this insane card, but when in reality, you could just be an amazing collector and just, you know, get stuff that are from teams that you really like and, you know, just find these ultra rare cards that you don't really get to see all the time. You know, I feel like that's a big difference in between the two. But do you want to share some of your cards that you have with Will here?
I'm fairly new, so I'm kind of just
Okay.
getting like a personal collection going here. I did pull this Hollow Bow Nix from the Optic set.
Sweet.
The Optic set, I didn't know how much that went for. I just started collecting this summer. I went to a card show and I bought a Optic box for like $80.
So mega box.
I looked up. I was like, ooh, that's just the resale on it is crazy. But yeah, a lot of Steelers stuff, a couple of auto football. I have this Max Fried card that I bought from a card show. Supposedly he signed it when he was in single A. I don't know how
Let me see that card. Show this to the camera real quick.
Yeah,
oh,
let's see.
wow. Okay.
I mean, even if it's not, I'm going to say it is. So. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of baseball, a lot of football. I want to get into basketball, but I just don't know the market like that. So
It's tough.
I don't know what to pull, like what to open. So
It's tough, you know what I mean? There's so many different products out now. They make like, it seems like 100 products a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it seems like. And people are just confused, you know what I mean? Should I buy something that's licensed or should I buy something that's not licensed?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where, honestly, I just tell people just buy what you like. You know, that's the simple idea of, you know, you're fairly new into collecting.
Yeah.
Don't spend all your paycheck
No,
you know,
definitely
on
not.
cards.
No.
You know what I mean? So what I tell people is I would take a portion of that and then put it into the collecting aspect. So, you know, don't go crazy on trying to get like a PSA 9 or PSA 10.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. So
Yeah, I had just started right when I graduated college. So I was doing a summer job and spending all my money on opening packs, and then I moved out here, and I was like, I don't think I can continue to spend my entire paycheck on sports cards. But
yeah,
it's still a dope hobby to have.
I get it.
So-
We see people come in and they spend a lot, and some people get upset.
Yeah.
Some people are really happy.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not, we've had a really good case of I think it's USA Stars and Stripes,
I have seen that.
and it's
before.
like $100. Well, this is baseball,
Yeah.
and it's $100 a box. We've had 2 Paul Skeens kabooms pulled in 4
Wow.
boxes
Kabooms.
out of the same case.
What?
So out of the last 4 boxes, there's been 2 kabooms that have
That's
had to have
crazy.
come out. And honestly, you know, we know so much about cards. I didn't even know that there was kabooms in the set.
Yeah.
And the guy came back in and said, "I have a kaboom." I said, "No, you don't." 'Cause he's a big jokester.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I really have. I have a Paul Skeens kaboom." And I was like, geez, I guess I got to buy more. Of
Oh
those.
my God.
So, yeah, there's kabooms in baseball now. So now,
Yeah.
you know, the market is changing where there was kabooms just in like football. Now it's every sport. You know,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool.
I've seen basketball too. Another one is the downtowns.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yep.
I went to a card show over the summer, and everybody was chasing downtowns.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
everybody was opening packs just on the tables, just looking for a
But
downtown.
there is something I gotta say about the whole downtown thing, and some people might not like it, but you heard it from me first. Is they make the downtowns and the uptowns and the dual downtowns. They're making so many different variations.
Yeah.
So it's making those downtowns drop in value.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Are they like less rare in that sense
Well,
because
yeah,
there are different
so they-
versions of it?
They only made one before. Now there's that one, a dual downtown,
Right.
uptown.
Uptowns, yeah.
You know, so people still want them, but before there was only one downtown. That was it. There was only a downtown. So now they're making like 3, 4, 5, 6 different ones. You know, so it's going to make it go down. In like 2003, they made a set. It was basketball, same thing. Everybody was chasing a card that was like $150 when it first came out. Now they're like $3.
Wow.
You know, the same type of card, not a downtown, but it was something else. And I think it's just hot right now, just because you can't find them. You know, it's so hard to pull one. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy how those prices can fluctuate because I can kind of relate to sports card trading with this game called Counter-Strike where you can buy certain skins and, you know, they have different values too. So, like, you could get this ultra rare skin and there's only like 3 in the world and it's worth like $500,000. But the more of those that are opened, the less in value that it gets. So I can see why, you know, those uptown, downtown, like all those different cards, you know, fluctuate in prices. But what I'm interested in knowing, what is the rarest card that you've pulled or you've had in possession? I'm sure you've seen a lot, but
I
I'm just
have seen a lot. It was probably like a 101 years ago. And you know, we're talking like LeBron James.
Yep.
You know, so we've had some crazy stuff lately. But usually once it hits us, we can't collect it because it's hard to collect and resell because you want to keep everything.
Of course, I'm sure.
So I personally don't collect much anymore. It's just so hard because the products have gotten more expensive, and if you collect and sell, you want to keep. I want to keep everything that comes into the store, and then you know maybe somebody comes in that really likes you know a C.J. Stroud or James Wood, and just really wants it, and you're like, oh, it's in my collection. So then it takes a sale away from basically someone coming in.
Right.
So
Okay. You got anything else?
Honestly, what's next? You have any like events planned for the end of the year or into 2026? What's next for Bill's Card Shack?
So there is some pretty exciting news that you guys will be the first ones to know.
Okay.
We do have a card shot or a card show lined up, possibly in November.
Okay.
It's going to be at the American Legion, where we just got approved to have the show. We just have to find a date for the show.
Which location, Mechanical or Stillwater one?
Clifton Park.
Oh, okay.
So Clifton Park, the post 1450.
Yep.
So the one with the tank.
Yep.
So we're gonna have a show there. We just don't know what date.
Okay.
So this is all brand new information, and it was originally a rumor, but now it's
approved.
Yes, we got approved. We just need a date. So this is pretty cool aspect. My father hasn't done a show in probably about 15 years.
Wow.
So actually running a show and bringing people, the reason why he wanted to do it and myself wanted to do it, we wanted to get money for the American Legion. We're really into, helping veterans out. My father was in the military, in the Army. He was an Army Staff Sergeant. So we really care about the veterans. So all the proceeds for the food and drinks are going to the veterans. Okay. So it's all going to the American Legion. And it's really exciting to do something in the community that, believe it or not, it's going to be mobbed there. It's something new. It's in Clifton Park. Yep. There hasn't been a sports card show in Clifton Park in a long time.
Yeah, I feel
this is brand new stuff. And like I said, there's so many sports card shows. So now if you don't like going down to Albany or Saratoga, you can go to Clifton Park. Yeah. If that's where you're from, you're going to want to go there. So believe it or not, we're going to do one just to try it out. And then if it works, then we're going to do it every month. Basically, that's the game plan.
Okay.
Every month.
To do one every month.
That's awesome.
And see how it goes. So basically, the first one is going to be basically make or break. If it's good, which I believe it's going to be good, then we're going to keep doing them. So.
Dude, that's awesome. And especially in a place like Clifton Park, too. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, Clifton Park is a pretty busy town as it is. So, to have that and then the surrounding areas kind of come to and, go to the American Legion for that, it's going to be awesome. So, really excited about that. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you've gotten back on your feet. And, it seems like things are going well for you. But, yeah, thank you so much for coming on to our show. We really appreciate it. And I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of Bits and Boards, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you.